I'm a traditional photographer working with film most of my life, but in the last 10 years I've become very interested in older processes, so the uniqueness of those processes. My name is Elizabeth Turk, and I'm a photographer and an educator, and for my personal work I work with antiquarian processes, mainly the Van Dyck process. I've always been interested in that technique and wanted to try it myself, and wanted to use something other than traditional photographic paper. So I explored antiquarian chemical processes and decided that Van Dyck was the one that was most interesting to me. And that process was created or invented by William Henry Fox Talbot in around the 1830s. It was the first way of really kind of capturing an image, and the first way that an image was able to actually be fixed so that it didn't fade when exposed to light. I use hands a lot in my work. I think hand is very symbolic. And hands are like little faces in a way. They say a lot about an individual. Not that I consider these portraits. These are more sort of analytical or anatomical kind of studies. So in order to create this image, what I would do would be expose the paper to light with some leaves placed on it, which is going to give me a certain kind of texture. Then I put a hand over that and expose again. Wherever there's exposure, that part of the image gets covered up or turns dark, and then I get this silhouette or shadow. So really, this works like this. Then I process it, and that's it. It's a very simple process. Just involves water and then a mild dilution of fixer. This is one of the first pieces that I did using sort of a full-size figure. This was done with a skeleton, and it was a piece that I did for a very specific show, a show that was titled Gone with the Wind, which was sort of looking at the Old South, and I wanted to speak to the decay and romance. So I used a skeleton, and I also used one of my prom dresses to create this sort of lyrical kind of narrative that sort of a recollection of the Southern Belle thing. And so the photograph was made in the same way, laying the skeleton, leaves, and I used sort of traditional Southern foliage like fern and moss, and there are actually even a few dead birds in here that I borrowed from a friend. What I like about these images is the nature of that sort of anatomical quality, that they look almost like renderings of insides of deconstructions or decaying of hands or parts of the body. That becomes very intriguing to me. I never know exactly what's going to happen, and that is another feature that I really like about this process, that it's always a little surprise or a little bit of surprise. I never get exactly what I think I'm going to get. As Diane Arbus said, it's always a little better or a little worse, and they can't be repeated. I like the hands-on with this. I like the painterly quality, the application. I like the uniqueness of the prints. The prints cannot be duplicated. They're one-of-a-kind images. There's been a resurgence of interest in these antiquarian processes and in the photogram technique.